Hey guys, it is Christine, DLT, Yogi DLT, or the small maker. I have way too many Insta handles I'm learning. But yeah, we're gonna get started here in just a moment. I'm gonna get the camera set up, so bear with me as this thing moves around for a minute. And then just grab a mat, grab some water, whatever props you want. If you have a block, grab one if you want it. You might need it today or want it today, but no props are necessary aside from your body, your mind, your breath, and maybe a mat. That's really about it. All right, give me 1 second to figure this lovely thing out. Yes, I'm on top of my table. I'm literally standing on a chair to get this done. The great lengths yoga teachers go to these days to teach from home. But it's fun. You guys get to see our pets and our homes a little bit. I'm hoping this new angle higher up here will be better. But honestly, this is a brand new thing, filming from the top of my table, so we're gonna see. Also, my house is kind of messy. We're going through a move right now, so please bear with me. If you notice it's kind of messy, well, I guess it's reality. Okay, I'm gonna see if this angle works, as I also guessed that on our Black Swan page. I have a ton of music on Apple Music. If you go to the same Insta handle I have at Yogi DLT on Apple Music, I have tons of playlists. Pick whichever yoga playlist you want. They're all under the word yoga, and then it's like BSY whatever number. Any of those will work for this flow today. Choose which one has your favorite song on it or something along those lines. Sweet, we're gonna get started 2 seconds once I figure out what this angle is over here. I literally have to go to my computer and make sure like my head is not cut off. So we're gonna see that. Yay! My head's not completely cut off, and I'm still gonna raise it up a little bit. All right, cool. I guess this is how I get to see what you guys are seeing. Considering the fact I cannot see any of this when I'm teaching. Let's get a little bit higher though, because it was just barely showing the top of my head. And honestly, this tripod is very precariously propped up on the edge of my table. So let's hope my camera doesn't randomly fall during class. If it does, I guess that's real life. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in. Water, a mat, maybe some music if you want it. I have tons of playlists on my Apple Music account. Please feel free to go on there and add them to your own libraries. But yeah, today's just about getting an untraditional flow going. I know a lot of us have been practicing at home probably for a long time of being stuck at home, and those kind of traditional sun A's and sun B's that we do in a lot of classes, where you'll see a lot of like flowing through it in a traditional vinyasa, can get kind of old after a while, can get kind of stale. I love it, and it never really gets truly old, but you know what I mean? Sometimes you want to change, and that's what we got today. So today's that change for us. So I'm just making sure I have all my stuff set up. I got my AirPods in so you can hear me better. I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. I've learned that the hard way, and you can see the top of my head. It's not completely cut off. Sweet. The last thing I think I need is maybe to open this up so my little fur baby can walk around. We have 2 dogs in our house now these days, and Miss Zoe, the queen of my house if we take my classes, has been kind of off limits to the main part of the house during the day to keep it fair. But in honor of yoga, you know, I gotta have a little bit of Zoe in the picture because she always stands on my mat and stuff like that. So maybe your favorite fur babies are around the house too. You know, your cat or dog fur babies or bunny or who knows, whatever you got in your house. And have them join you on the mat, enjoy it. If they step on your mat and kind of annoy you, it's kind of the fun process of being at home. This is a different environment than a yoga studio. All right, that being said, we are going to get started here. And I think we're going to start this direction. I was originally planning, I always for some reason face this direction as the top of my mat, but it's good to break habits, and maybe you do the same thing, and I try to do this in yoga studio, I try to put my mat down in a different spot. So maybe you switch it up a little bit, and I'm gonna try it this direction. We'll see how this goes. Change it up a little bit. We're starting a child's pose today. As you get settled for your child's pose, knees towards the edges of the mat for a hip stretch, or knees together for a stretch along the back. You choose. Your arms can be reaching forward, or if your knees are side by side, you might bring them back towards the feet for embryo pose. Now, wherever you settle in at, while you're settling in and getting set up, I'm going to mention Black Swan Yoga donations all 100% go to the teachers. I know if you've been practicing with us on YouTube, you've been hearing this over and over again, but seriously, those donations, they add up for us, and 100% of them come to the teachers to help us pay our bills and things like that during this time, so we really appreciate it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Other than that, just get settled into your child's pose. Let that forehead rest down. Who cares where your booty is? If it's up in the air, if it's settled down towards your heels, whatever. Just rest and let yourself start to relax. Now, if you're not in embryo pose and your hands are not back by your feet, you might notice as your arms reach forward, sometimes it's easy to hold tension in the shoulders and kind of keep them up and really engaged. Why don't you try tenting up onto the fingertips? Take a deep breath in as you pull those shoulders back into their socket. Really activate them. And then on the exhale, let everything soften down. The arms, the hands, and the shoulders, let them really relax down. You might move through that another time really to activate the shoulders and then actively let them rest. So by creating that activation, you can also create the opposite effect of that active relaxation. So work through that a couple times until your shoulders really start to relax a little bit more. It might be a small adjustment, but small adjustments in yoga are the big ones. Very rarely do we get a huge adjustment or change in things. It's those small ones over time. We take every little penny we can add to our bank of like awesome, good yoga experiences, and those are them. So as you are here in your child's pose, just soften, just relax, just rest. Notice what's going on with your breath. Can you deepen your breath a little bit more to let your belly expand out towards the earth, out like a balloon in 360 degrees with your ribs? On the exhale, can you feel everything kind of pull back in towards center? So on those inhales, let everything expand, relax, release, open up, puff up. Exhale, let it all come back in. Just notice your breath. Start to notice how you're breathing down into the belly space. Without judgment, just arrive. Letting go of any expectations. Let's take a moment here to take any expectations that we brought to our mat. Notice if you, just observe and notice if you have them. It could be, I'm showing up on the mat to get exercise, I am going to do every vinyasa, or I want to feel better after this, or whatever expectations you might have. I'm here to relax and chill out and just completely zen out. Any expectation you have, please pick that up mentally and put it off to the side of your mat. Those expectations are no longer needed. We are just here and we're going to notice our body moment to moment. And as we notice our body moment to moment, we're just going to observe without judgment, without labels, and without those expectations. We're going to let whatever happens on the mat happen. We did the hardest part, we showed up. Now it's just to see whatever feels good in our body and our mind and our soul. Begin to take the deeper breath in. Feel that expansion into your shoulder blades, even into your back. Exhale, open up your mouth, big audible sigh. Let something relax and let go a little bit more. Another round of full breath in. And another breath of a full exhale. Open up the mouth, let go of that big sigh. Beautiful yogis, maybe a little rock into the forehead, left and right. If your hands are back by your feet, reach them forward. We're going to tent up onto those fingertips. Find that active child's pose where our arms are hovering. But now can you also bring your gaze towards the top of the mat and start to hover your chest? Good. Plant your palms now, but keep the arms hovering. Really grip the fingers into the mat. Maybe you kind of create this claw-like motion where your knuckles pop up. And then start to tuck the toes. Hover the knees, Hover your everything except for your toes are planted and your palms, and you're really active here. Sometimes I add a little bounce to remind myself to stay active. Another full inhale. Exhale, lower your knees down. Keep the toes tucked, sitting back for a Yogi Toe Stretch. Sitting back to stretch the fascia, that tissue in the bottom of our feet. That tissue in the bottom of our feet, your fascia, will feel heat sometimes released when we're stretching there. Why this pose is also nicknamed fire toes. And this stretch is really good to create more mobility in our feet, but also to warm up our feet for our practice. We often forget, sometimes we think that we're just doing yoga to stretch, to make ourselves feel better, but it's also to make sure that we're protected for our practice and also protected for whatever's going on today. You might take a long W-A-L-K walk if you have a dog in your house. My dog can't hear that word without going crazy. And you might want to warm up your feet a little bit more before that. All right, as you're here, though, let's make the best out of this because it's a lot. Interlace your hands to your low back, knuckles pull down, heart lifts up, a big opener into the heart. Exhale, bring your chest back to neutral. Slight connection and pull down of your low ribs to your hips to create that strong core. Bring your knuckles to the right side of your waist. Squeeze those elbows in, shoulders down the back, left ear over towards the left shoulder. Now, I'm feeling my feet kind of talking to me, and they're not saying nice things. They're saying, I'm tired, get me out of this pose. Are you feeling that too? Gently release your neck back to your center, knuckles over to the left, elbows together, shoulders down the back, right ear falls over towards the right shoulder. Feel that stretch in the left side of the neck. One more patient breath in. You've got this, yogis. This is where the yoga really starts. Exhale, come back to your center, release your palms down, and now tap the tops of your feet out. Oh my goodness, let that go. Whew. Yeah, that was a lot in our feet. All right, so from here, let's take some cat-cows. Inhale, lift tailbone and gaze up towards the sky. Let your belly fall. On the exhale, round and hollow out your back. Hold this cat-like pose. It is cat pose, what am I saying? It's not cat-like. Hold this cat pose. Press your ribs over to the right, and then over to the left. Great, let's press our ribs back to the right, get that stretch in our low back, and then over to the left. Notice what you're feeling here. Come back to center, neutral tabletop. Touch up onto your fingertips. Take a cat-cow high on the fingertips. Inhale, lift tailbone and gaze up. Notice how this feels different. Exhale, round and hollow out. Maybe you press your ribs again, right and left here for a moment. Notice how this might be different than with your palms rooted. Now coming back to your neutral tabletop, you can choose to stay up on the fingertips or root back down to the palms. Take a couple more cat-cows. What I'm going to invite and encourage you to do, but you don't have to take this, it's optional. You could close your eyes here to really invite in that sense of internal focus, tuning out the external around us, and noticing how this feels, this movement in our bodies. Let's take 2 to 3 more rounds of cat-cows, just depending on the pace of your breath. Not stressing too much about counting, I'll keep track of the time for you. Wherever you're at, you've got one last full round of breath in. And a full breath out. Nice, yogis, come back to your neutral tabletop. From your neutral tabletop, let's stretch out the wrists. So let's face the right palm up, fingers back towards our knees. And now there's a few options. You could squeeze your fingers towards the center of your palm and keep opening it up and go for that stretch. Or you could move a little bit forwards and backwards on the wrist, very gently. Or you could just stay still because this might feel pretty intense already. Taking on that option that works for you and not what I'm doing necessarily, not what you think you should be doing, just what feels good for your body in this moment. One last full breath in. Exhale, let's face the palm down, fingers back towards our knee, and then we're going to get this stretch into our forearm and our wrists, maybe a little bit of forwards and backwards movement or stillness, or if you want to add a little bit more range of motion, you might start to peel the whole palm up onto the fingertips, and then slowly lower it back down, but you choose what you need. We're going to go for one more round of breath in. And breath out, roll out your wrist, bring it back to neutral. Notice how that right wrist feels different maybe than the left. It's because it's warmed up, it's stretched out. Let's feel the left palm facing up, fingers back towards our knee. Now you can squeeze your fingers in towards center, or you could release and work on that one, or you could add that movement, or you could stay in stillness. Which one works for you? And then check in with your breath. Kindly notice what's going on, knowing that we're not perfect. We all lose track of our breath, and that's okay. All right, yogis, come back to neutral, palm faces down, fingers back towards our knee. And then again, you can stay in stillness. You can add a small rock, or you could start to peel up the palm onto the fingertips and then place it back down. Let's go for another round of breath in. And breath out. Draw out that wrist in the circles, both directions, and then let it go. Back to neutral. Great. Let's reach our right hand forward like you're going to shake someone's hand. Thumb is up, pinky's down. And then start to kick that left foot back behind you. Every time I say like you're going to shake someone's hand, I'm always kind of reminiscing back to when I could shake hands and not feel like I have to Purell or wash them right away. All right, inhale, lift our thumb and heel a little bit higher. Exhale, pull your navel up and in towards the spine. Knit your ribs together a little bit more. Just engage the core is all I need. It doesn't matter if your stomach is hollowed out. I don't care. As long as you're active here, that protects your back here. So as you reach in opposite directions, inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, round, knee in towards elbow or knee towards nose. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch and round. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch and round. Two more of those. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch and round. Inhale, find length. Here's our last one. Crunch and round and hold on that exhale. Stay for the inhale. Stay for the next exhale. Inhale, open up. Arm and leg in opposite direction, awkward airplane pose. So your arm is going out to the right. Your foot's going over to the left. And notice how I'm trying to keep my heel hip height. Hold it for a breath in. Exhale, back through neutral. Lower everything down. Take a cat-cow. Reset. Oh my goodness. Whew. Come back to your breath. Lean into those areas and stretch into those areas that need a little bit extra love for those 2 sets of cat-cows. And then we come back to neutral. All right, reaching our left arm forward. Thumb up, pinky down. Wrap this bicep closer to the ear. And then kick that right leg back behind you, flexing the right toes down, really active as your fingers and heel pull away from each other in opposite direction. Engage the core so you protect the low back. Inhale, lift everything a little bit higher if you can. Stay with it. One more full breath in. Exhale, crunch and round in. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch and round. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch and round. 2 more of those. Inhale, find that length through fingers and heel. Exhale, crunch and round in. Last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Hold it for the breath out. Stay for the breath in. One more breath out. Next, inhale, find that length. Exhale, open up. Foot goes to the right, arm goes to the left. Hold that heel about hip height. So you should really feel your glute firing up. One more full inhale. Exhale, come back to neutral, and then lower it all down. Take a cat-cow. Maybe you add a wrist stretch in there, your choice. And then we meet back in our neutral tabletop after that one cat-cow. Let's get a stretch for the shoulders here after all that work. Inhale, sweep your right arm high towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Right shoulder comes to the earth, right ear comes down to the ground. Now, I'm going to turn so you can see me from a different perspective. This might help you see what's going on. I have my right palm facing up, see? And then I have my right shoulder and arm completely grounded. My right ear is down, so I'm gazing over towards that open right palm. Now, what can I do with my left arm? I could reach it towards the top of the mat. You get some nice length through the back of the shoulder as well into the ribs. Or I can wrap it around my low back to get a deeper stretch into the front line of the shoulder and the chest. Notice what works for you. Now here's another option. You can walk your left foot out to the left and get this nice inner thigh hip stretch. And completely make sure you're rooting down through every part of that left foot. So all 5 toes, your heel, and the outer razor edge of the foot is grounded down. Stay with it for another breath in, whatever shape you're taking on. On your exhale, open up your mouth, sink even heavier into that bottom right shoulder as you relax. Staying with your breath. Notice how this feels to your shoulder for your hip. Just one more round of breath in. On the exhale, let's bring this left knee back under our hip. Our left palm comes back near our face, and we sweep our right arm up towards the sky, reaching it up high. Good. Exhale, lower that right arm back down to your tabletop. Let's switch it out. Left arm goes high. Inhale, reach fingers up towards the sky. Find that length through your side body. Exhale, thread the needle, your left ear down, your left shoulder and arm completely down with the palm facing up. Your gaze is twisted over towards that open palm. And your right hand might reach long towards the top of the mat, or it might wrap around your low back. And again, there's that hip stretch if you want to extend that right leg out, straight out of the hip socket. And the whole foot is completely grounded down from toes all the way to your heel and the razor edge of the foot. Everything is pressing down into the mat. You can roll and stack open if you have that half bind a little bit more. But I like to add in extra weight on those exhales into that bottom left shoulder. You might modify and make this a little bit different to work for your body. You might have injuries or different something different going on with the anatomy of your body than I do, and that's totally okay. I want to honor everyone what they're bringing onto the mat, and this just might not be working for you. So please, please, please feel like at any time you can change up any pose to work for you. That's most important about yoga, is it is customized. It is your practice if you make sure to customize it and make it work for you. All right, let's bring this right palm back down near the earth, right knee under our hip. Inhale, swim that left arm up towards the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, lower it all down. Nice work, yogis. Taking some time here to come back to your breath. Maybe a cat-cow to reset the spine. Good. Let's tuck the toes. Let's find our active child. To hover the knees, arms reaching forward, pressing into those palms. Hover the arms. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift your booty up towards the sky, down dog. Pedal it out. Bend into one knee, bend into the other. And then in your down dog, you can find as much bend in the knees as you would like. Right? Make it work for your hamstrings, for your body, your anatomy. Your fingers are spread wide on the mat, though, to keep your shoulders and your elbows from holding a lot of the tension here. Instead of stacking all that weight into your elbow and shoulder, spread your fingers really wide so you distribute some of that weight. So it's a little bit easier to press weight also back towards the hips. And as you press your weight back towards the hips, notice how my hips shift as I use that activation, pulling my heart back towards my thighs. That allows you to put more weight into the legs, which is a bigger muscle group that can really handle my weight being shifted that direction. Stay with it for another full breath in stillness. And a big audible sigh. Open up your mouth. Let go of a big breath. One more full breath in. On the exhale, walk your feet out mat width distance. So your feet are to the edges of your mat and your heels are grounded. So it's a pretty short down dog stance. Taking your left hand to your calf or your ankle, peek up and underneath your right armpit for a nice twist and stretch into the IT band, the hamstrings, the ribs and the shoulders. Notice where you feel this at. Another full inhale. Exhale, replant that left hand, switch it out. Right arm grabs for the outside of the calf or the ankle or even the thigh. Whatever you can grab for, make it work for your body, for where you are at mentally and physically today. And that might not be your normal, and that's totally okay.
Kindness, compassion is the most important parts of our yoga practice, of our physical practice especially. Exhale, bring that right palm back down. Walk your feet back to a more narrow, neutral down dog stance. And then exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. A nice ragdoll is here for you, so bend your knees generously. Belly and thighs maybe touch or come close to touching. As you grab your opposite elbows, you could start to bob up and down. You could sway left and right. You could interlace your hands to the back of your neck, whatever works for you here. Make it functional, make it accessible, and also make it low impact. That is the nice thing about yoga, is it is low impact to keep us practicing for a long period of time. So by not forcing poses, we allow ourselves to have a longer, more longevity in our practice. Good, release your arms and just let them hang heavy. Start to tuck the chin in towards the chest and let your legs do the heavy lifting for a moment as you roll up like a ragdoll, nice and slow, like you're a zombie. Out of a zombie movie, let your head be the last thing to lift up. Inhale, swim your arms up high towards the sky. Exhale, palms come into your thumb, palms come in towards your third eye space between your brows. Take a moment here to honor and acknowledge your intuition, trust your instincts, trust that intuition. Draw your thumbs down to your lips, remembering to share communications of kindness, love, compassion, not only with others, but with yourself. And then bring your thumbs down to your heart center. Your eyes are closed as you press your thumbs into your sternum into the thumbs. Your legs are really active and strong here. Your core is really strong and active, and so are your shoulders rolling down your back. Notice how your posture immediately changes as you find that strength from the root up to the crown. Finding this pose, this is here for us to maybe set an intention for our practice, if that's something that serves us, to have an inspiration and intention for our practice, or maybe a dedication to someone or something that needs our love, our support, our energy directed at them. Whatever it is, fill up for a full breath in. Big open mouth sigh, share it out to the universe around you. Flutter open your eyes, swim your arms up towards the sky. A gentle back bend here, so a cactus open of the heart. Elbows pulling in towards your ribs, but also back behind you a little bit more. Keep that activation. And then remember, a strong core protects your back, right? These are very connected to opposite sides of the same coin, whatever the saying is. You just want to keep it strong in your core to protect the back. So cactus your heart open, and then inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, a halfway lift, so that means we anchor our fingers to our shins or to the earth. We shift weight towards the toes. Exhale, fold it down. Walking your hands forward, top of a push-up, high plank pose. So finding your wrists and elbows underneath your shoulders. You're pretty high on the tippy toes-ish, half toe-ish. And we're not lifting our booty up into the air because we're not in down dog yet. Now notice, do you need to lower the knees? Go for it. Seriously, it is just as difficult by using your knees. Modify, make it work. Exhale, we're just gonna simply lower the knees to hover. We're gonna push our booty back towards our heels. Oh, this is like our active child's pose earlier. Yes. Shoot it forward, high plank pose. And then hover those knees, booty back towards the heel. Now this time, lift your booty up towards the sky, and voila, you're in down dog. Hey, that's pretty cool. It's a wave-like motion, so let's try that again. Inhale, let your hips drive the way forward. So as this, you're being pulled by your hips. Let it push your whole upper body forward. And then hover those knees, and then lift the hips up high, down dog. Cool, let's find that wave-like motion. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, bend the knees, hips lead the way back home, down dog. Take 2 more of those at your own pace. Start to move within your body. And breathe. So notice that body and breath connection as you ride back in your neutral down dog. Take a full inhale. Big audible sigh. Walk your hands back to your feet at the back of the mat once again. This time, inhale, halfway lift, anchor fingers to shins right away. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Now let's take the time just to let our head hang for a moment, hang out. Maybe peace fingers around big toe. Or maybe we go for Skanasana, hands slide underneath our feet. Palms facing the soles of our feet. Give the head a little shake, yes and no. Bend into those knees as generously as needed. Taking that time to breathe in this pose for whatever shape you need to be, as much of a bend in the knee. We're starting to straighten the legs that you would like. Just remember to let the head hang heavy. Good, one more halfway lift, anchor fingers to our shins. Exhale, fold it on down. Inhale, root and rise, reach high, Skanasana. This one's an upward salute, so we stand all the way up, hands reaching up towards the sky. Interlace all of our fingers but our pointer fingers for the steeple grip. Right, so our thumbs are even crossed here, and our biceps are wrapping in towards our ears as we're really tall here. On the exhale, we're going to start to let our fingers tick-tock over towards the right as we press our hips over to the left. We have equal weight in both feet, and we don't need to completely overbend here. It's just very subtle here. But we're also engaging the core to what? Oh yeah, protect our low back. That's right. Because they are opposite sides of the same coin. I finally figured out the saying. I haven't had enough coffee yet today. Inhale, come back, recenter. Exhale, over to the left. Press your hips to the right, equal weight into both feet, and don't stress about how far you go. Maybe you back out of it just to get a little bit more quality out of the pose. Inhale, come back through center. Look up towards your hands and draw a gentle line along the ceiling, but try to keep your hips tucked under. Try to keep your tailbone tucked under. Good, one more full breath in. Exhale, come back through center, release the bind, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, walk your hands forward, and you can take that wave with you if you want to bend the knees and lift the hips back up to down dog. Or you can take a vinyasa if you want to take up dog, or if you want to take baby cobra. If you want to skip it all, go straight back to your down dog. We'll meet there. The beauty of down dog is this is that space to remind us to check in and say, hey, how am I breathing right now? Have I been breathing through that last bit of movement with the highest quality? And if you notice that you're saying to yourself, no, I haven't, well then this is that kind check-in without judgment. Just be like, okay, well I'm going to try better the next round. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yoga is not about perfection. It's a practice for a reason. And there's these little checkpoints along the way, and down dog is one of them, to see where's my mindset at? Am I really present here? And where's my breath at? All right, taking that full breath in, fill up. Reset, big audible sigh. The cleansing sigh. Let your hands walk back towards your feet when you're ready on the next exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. A little bit different here. Plant your left fingertips onto the earth. So you're tented up onto your fingertips. You're bending into your left knee. And your right leg's pretty straight as you peel that right arm up towards the sky for this folded twist. Maybe you draw some circles into the wrist up here. I love to do that, but it's up to you. Lower the right fingertips down, bend that right knee, lift the left arm high towards the sky. Take a deep breath in, reach higher through the fingertips. Maybe you draw those little circles into the wrist. And then exhale, switch it out. Left fingertips down, right fingertips high. Can you start to hover your bottom left fingertips from here? Good, use that core strength to stand you all the way up and open twist. If your right hip dragged back, can you square it towards the top of the mat still? Take a full inhale. Exhale, swim your right arm forward, arms go high, back bend. Arms reach back up, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then plant your right fingertips beneath your face. Peel that left arm high towards the sky. Keep a generous bend in the right knee. Good, hover that bottom right hand. Use your core to stand you all the way up. Left fingertips reaching towards the back of the room. Right fingertips reaching forward. Square that left hip point as much as you can towards the top of the mat. Good. Inhale, pull that left arm forward. And both arms go high on that same breath. Exhale, cactus your heart open, open up. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold and walk your hands towards the top of your mat. Take a vinyasa from your high plank pose or stop in down dog and be happy there. Because down dog is that kind place to remember compassion, to remember to be compassionate and kind to ourselves in down dog. All right, we're gonna add on to that flow a little bit, and I'm gonna let you take it at your own pace, that little twisted one. So walk your hands towards the back of the mat on the exhale. Plant your left fingertips down, bend that left knee, arm reaches high, right hand. Stand all the way up. Good, right arm peels forward. Inhale, both arms high, cactus your heart open. Inhale, arms reach back up. Exhale, forward fold, right fingertips land, bend that right knee as the left arm reaches up. Stand all the way up, open twist. Left arm swims forward, arms swim high, cactus your heart open. And then swan dive forward, fold. Take a vinyasa if you want it, or not. We'll meet back in down dog. And then you have 2 rounds of that flow on your own. So feel free to turn up your music and just take a moment to really tune into what's going on for you. If you need a little bit more guidance, I'll guide you through one more of those, and then I'll let you have one round on your own, and you can always watch me. But if you forget something, just make it work for you. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. And on the exhale, walking your hands back towards the feet. Plant the left fingertips down, right arm reaches high, stand up. Open twist, right arm peels forward, arms reach high. Cactus. Inhale, arms reach up. Forward fold, right fingertips down, left arm high. Rise up. Left arm reaches forward. Cactus. Fold it down. Take your vinyasa or don't. We'll just meet back in down dog. Now you can take another round of that at your own pace. Feel free to move how you want to add on or take away. Make it fluid if you'd like, but just make sure you're breathing. Taking your time over the next couple rounds of breath to make it back to your down dog if you didn't already make it there. Maybe let go of some sighs, breathing out through your mouth to release heat as you arrive back in down dog. When you're ready, exhale, walk your hands towards the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root and rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Palms coming down heart center. Keep your eyes open though this time. Shift weight into the left foot as you bring your right knee up and in towards your chest. Flex this right foot really active. This is one-legged Tirasana. So holding this one-legged Tirasana from your core. That's really what's holding your leg up. It's not so much the hip flexor or the quad. I think it's more personally coming from the core. That's what I feel as activation in my body. Now kick your right foot forward. Hold it for a breath in. Exhale, lower it down so it's about pyramid pose stance because you know where we're going. All 10 toes are facing roughly forward. If they need to be at a little bit of an angle, that's okay. Keeping your hands at heart center, or maybe going for a reverse prayer pose where you have your palms pressing behind your shoulders. It doesn't make a difference which one you choose. as long as it's not over exerting yourself, over stretching. Start to hinge about halfway here. As you hinge about halfway, lift up a little bit higher, about halfway, so a quarter of the way. Drag that right hip point back, left hip point forward, and then again, hover your heart halfway. Use your core strength here to hold you up. Use your leg strength as well. Take another full inhale. And if you want, on the exhale, release any bind, fold it on down, fold forward. Give your head a little shake, yes and no. Remind it to relax as you frame your foot and bow and fold over that right leg. Good, walk your fingertips forward to frame your foot as you balance on that right foot, standing L pose. You can take a hand behind your calf, or maybe two, or keep your hands rooted. You can take a handstand kick up, whatever works for you from this pose. 2 more rounds of breath though. My hip always pops in this pose. Sorry if you heard that. All right, let's tense up onto our left fingertips, similar to what we were doing earlier. They're about diagonal away from my right big toe though. The right arm starts to reach up towards the sky. This is revolved half moon. So it's like a half moon. Our left toes are still flexed down, very similar to our standing L and a half moon meeting. This is what they are. All right, so lower that right hand down. Fingertips are about 6 inches of diagonal outside the toes. Roll and stack your left hip on top of your right. Feel your body stacking on top. You should almost feel a lot of weight pulling backwards. And then you can take this left arm and wrap it around your low back. You can take it to your hip. This is kind of that space I recommend if your balance is a little bit off. Your gaze should be down towards the earth to keep your balance in check. But if you want to challenge it, you can lift it up towards the sky. Always makes me lose my balance. And then you can also reach that left arm high towards the sky too. 1 more full breath in. This is half moon pose. Exhale, lower that left hand down, back to your standing L as your hips square. Lower your left toes, palms plant down, kick it up, 3-legged dog. Good, exhale, any vinyasa from here, or just step your right foot down to down dog, your choice. If you want a 1-legged vinyasa, it's a really great transition, but you don't have to take any vinyasas at all to make this flow work for you. Nice yogis. On the next exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root and rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Palms come into heart center. Shift the weight into the right foot. You know where we're going. Left knee in towards our chest. Really strong and active from the core here. Kick that left foot forward. Hold it for the breath in. Stay for the breath out. 1 more inhale. Exhale, lower this left foot down. You're at about a pyramid pose. Stands between your feet. Again, hands can be at heart center or hands can be to reverse prayer. I'm going to switch it up this time and keep hands at heart center. And then hinge about halfway. Again, we're going to do that little halfway lift, so we're a quarter of the way up. We're going to pull our left hip point back, right hip point forward. Once our hips are square, then we're going to start to fold halfway once again. Use your hamstring strength here to be holding you up without locking out the knee. So we have a micro bend in our knee. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge and fold it on down. Give your head a little shake, yes and no. Remind yourself to relax here, but keeping your hips just as square as you did earlier. Not letting that left hip point drag forward. We want to keep it back and equal with the right. Bring your hands up to frame your foot. Standing L, balance on the left foot. Right toes flex down towards the earth. Maybe a little shake into your head, yes and no. You can take 1 hand behind your calf, 2 hands behind your calf, a handstand kick up. But only 2 more rounds of breath here, yogis. Mindful to keep those right toes really flexed down and our breath as calm as we can. Good, let's go for that revolved half moon pose. So tent up onto your right fingertips, diagonally outside your left big toe. And then your left arm goes high towards the sky as you keep those right toes flexed down. So one tendency we tend to have from here is to like move our hips around and our toes. Let's try to keep them flexed and active towards the earth. Exhale, switch switch it out. Left hand comes down diagonally outside the pinky toe. And then start to reach your right toes towards the right side of the room. Notice how my foot is no longer flexed, my toes are no longer flexed down towards the earth, but towards the wall. And then I take my right hand to my right hip to make sure everything's stacking. So I check that my hip is stacking, my ribs are stacking. And then maybe I start to reach my arm up or wrap it around for a bind. Gaze can be down or up towards the sky for balance. One more full inhale. Exhale, melt that right hand down. Step your right foot back, kick it up, three-legged dog, left leg high. Any vinyasa you want to get home, or skip it. We'll meet back in down dog. Whew. Great work, yogis. You've got this. We have one last little bit here. From here, we're going to sweep both feet forward, actually, a little bit shorter, heels down. And then we're going to sweep our left leg high towards the sky. So left leg goes high towards the sky. And then we're going to take our right hand to our right calf or our right ankle, whatever we can go for. But our heel is grounded, so our whole right foot is grounded. And it's right hand to right calf or right ankle for the balance. Now this is going to challenge your balance, and that's the point of this pose. But is it not only challenging your balance, but also challenging your breath? Check back in. Notice how present you are here. You're thinking about how uncomfortable is this pose? When can I get out of it? Stay in it. One more full breath in. Exhale, plant that right hand down, and then step that left foot forward and through. Wide-legged fold. Walk your hands over to the long edge of your mat on the right side. Toes slightly in, heels slightly out, and fold it on down. All right, yogis. So for this side, you can lift your feet off the earth and go for like a headstand if you want. You could take a ragdoll and just grab your opposite elbows. You could take a twist, plant a palm down, reach the other up towards the sky like we did earlier in our poses. Or my personal favorite is Skanasana, so that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to bend my back right knee and sit low into this right knee as my left toes are flexed up. Now you could lift off the right heel, or you could keep it lowered, your choice. You can bring your hands to the earth, to heart center, or what I'm going to go for is a twist. So I'm going to bring my right hand down, left arm high to the sky. There's even another level to this. You can wrap that left arm around your low back. Right arm wraps around that knee to connect behind. And you roll to stack that left rib and shoulder up towards the sky. And then if you're ready to switch it out, we're going to go to the other side, bend into that left knee. Good. If you're still upside down, take as much time as you like. Maybe go for that bind or whatever pose works for you in your Skanasana. The other side's not going to have as much time in this pose. You're going to see that we get to be moving into a wide-legged stance on each side, but they're going to be different. Open up your wingspan if you're still in that bind, and then we're going to be back in our wide-legged fold. Walk your hands back around to frame your front left foot, and take any journey home to down dog from here. I personally am just going to move back to my down dog in that wave-like motion. What works for you? Notice. Good, come back to breath. And then sweep that, walk that left foot in a little bit shorter, so that whole foot's grounded. Sweep the right leg high towards the sky, and then left hand grabs your calf or ankle. Let your head hang heavy. Let your right palm stay rooted. And try to balance as you flex those right toes down towards the earth. Let your core take some of the balance out of the equation by engaging it, making it really strong. And then notice the wiggles and wobbles. Be kind to yourself. Good, yogis. We got one more full breath in. One side might be more difficult to balance than the other. Exhale, plant that left hand back down. Step that right foot forward and through. And then walk your hands over towards the left edge of your mat for a wide-legged fold. Now I'm going to spin around so you can see what I'm doing here. Let's bring our hands to our waist. We're going for a halfway lift. Good. Nice and flat back. Use your core strength and hamstring strength. Stand all the way up. toes out, heels in. Yeah, sit low, goddess. Hands come into heart center. Now you can add a little sway left and right. You can get a little wrist stretch and break here. You could even start to add a little dance in and make your arms like really relax. This helps take your mind off of how uncomfortable it is in your quads. Whatever works for you. I like to sway, maybe add in some movements, or just stay really still. One more full breath in, exhale, sit a little bit lower. And then come back down to that wide-legged fold, toes in, heels out. Walk your hands around to frame that front right foot, and take any vinyasa you want, but we'll meet back in down dog. Great, from your down dog, immediately sweep your right leg high towards the sky. Exhale, right knee behind right wrist, half pigeon pose. Or if this bothers your knee to be in half pigeon pose, flip onto your back for a figure 4 stretch. Just interlace your hand behind that right thigh or left thigh, whatever side you're doing, and make sure that you're getting that stretch in a more gentle way for that knee. All right, from your half pigeon pose, when you feel balance between the two sides, like you could even reach your arms up towards the sky. You could take a hinge, or you could start to walk your hands forward and fold it on down. Just finding your fold here to let your heart relax and bow down, to let your breathing slow down and really arrive back into your physical body. Yogis, 2 more rounds of breath here. How present can you be in that last round of breath? When you're ready to press your way back upright to your palms, sitting over towards that right cheek, swing that left leg up and around. Kick out both feet in front of you until you can sit onto your sit bones and balance for boat pose, Navasana. So hands back behind our thighs or hands away from it, just proud heart, proud chest. Now you might extend your legs out or you might keep your knees bent, all different levels that you can be at. Take a full breath in. Exhale, we all extend our legs as we move to low boat. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, low. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. High, low. You got this for 10. 9. Are you breathing? 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. I know this is tough. Last 2. Last 1. Hold at the bottom, low boat. Pulse your hands up and down for 5. 4. 3. 2. 1, grab onto the backs of your thighs, start to rock up and down, we'll meet back in down dog. If you want to take a vinyasa, go for it. Whew. Okay, snuck that little bit of core work in there for you. Because a strong core leads to stronger balancing poses. Not a traditional yoga thing always, but it is, nice to add that core work in, because sometimes we find it, well, I find it hard, I can speak from my personal experience, to do core work without somebody telling me to do it. All right, left leg goes high. Exhale, left knee behind left wrist, half pigeon pose. Right leg straight back behind you. Find your balance between the two sides of your body. And then maybe you reach your hands high to make sure you have that balance. You can walk your hands forward or you can hinge. Hinging is very difficult. Those last couple inches are like really tough to hinge, and move very slow with control. Once you arrive, really let yourself relax. So notice if you're clenching your hands together, balling up into little fists. Notice if you're holding that tension in your shoulder or in your neck, or you're holding in your hip, or you're collapsing into your left side of your body. Try to find that balance to relax. Try to find that balance in your breath and the inhales and the exhales. Last couple rounds of breath in. And breath out. You have about 3 more rounds of breath, yogis. How present can you be for that last breath in? And breath out as you press your way back up to your palms. Sit over towards that left side, sit over, swing the right leg up and over. We've done a lot of forward folds, so we're not going to do a seated one. Just reach your arms forward, tuck your chin towards your chest, and roll down nice and slow. The slower you go, the more you get out of this for those abdominal muscles. Maybe you can hover those legs for a moment before lowering everything down. Once you arrive on your back, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a big old squeeze. Maybe you just hug yourself and pull your knees in towards your nose and your nose in towards your knees. Or you go for a happy baby if that feels good for you. Or whatever closing shape you want to take on. Use the next 3 to 4 rounds of breath to move there. You might just take an early Shavasana, letting your arms and legs take up some space. We've about 2 more rounds of breath, yogis, before we're all going to make it into Shavasana as we're ready. Last full breath in. And then if you're ready to move into Shavasana, just a kind reminder that it's time. If you want to do your own thing, please do. Just making sure you leave that time to rest and recharge, because after all, our practice, this is our entire purpose, is for us to rest still in Shavasana. All that movement leads up to this. So taking a moment here to lay nice and flat on your back. Let your eyelids be heavy. Let your physical body be oh so heavy and just taken over by gravity. Allow your mind to relax. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken.
if you feel like it's time for you to reawaken, begin to deepen your breath. If you'd like to keep resting, feel free to lock your device and just set your phone on a timer so it can remind you to wake up eventually. Maybe add in physical movements to reawaken your physical body. Smaller movements making into slightly larger movements. Before taking your right hand to rest on top of your heart space, and then stack your left hand on top of that. Closing out our practice here, remembering what this pose really represents, what our practice really represents, what showing up for ourselves represents, is self-care. And self-care is not selfish. Self-care is necessary so we can take care of ourselves, because then we can better take care of others later. Thank you for taking time and prioritizing that out of your day. I really, truly appreciate it, and I hope this practice felt restorative, strengthening, just good to move in your own body. Until I get to see you again, namaste. Now feel free to reawaken yogis at your own pace. I really appreciate you taking that time for self-care. One last friendly reminder, donations through blackswanyoga.com. When you go to Austin, that's our page for the Austin teachers. And if you go on there and you make a donation, 100% of those donations come to the Black Swan Yoga teachers to help us keep things going for you guys from our homes. And we really appreciate your support. Stay tuned for all the information through social media from us. And my name is Christine. I'm at Yogi DLT on Insta if you want to follow me. I'm happy to let you follow me. It's just private because I also teach high school. So feel free to request me as a friend. And I hope I get to see you again and practice, maybe in person sometime soon or online soon. And feel free to reach out. I'm here to answer questions and chat with you and just make that connection, because we're not alone. We are still a community here. Nonetheless, have a great day, and I'm sorry you guys didn't get to see any Zoe spottings. Maybe you did. I have no idea where my dog is at today. Miss Zozo, oh, she's on the sofa. We'll say goodbye if I can wake up this very sleepy little fur baby. Come here. You gotta say goodbye. Goodbye from Zoe and I. I hope you have a great rest of your day and you're as relaxed after Shavasana as Zoe is.